Lawrence Photography Studio. I'm back today with my second video like I have promised, and today I'll just give a brief about the settings, what have I learned so far from my experiences with photography so far after all these years. Currently I'm live streaming from the Republic of South Africa, Gauteng province. My name is Lawrence, a photographer. I did indicate the baby that I'm using. It's a Canon 1000D, as you can see there. And the lens here is 18 by 55 millimeter. And I also have Sigma 18 by 200 millimeter, as you can see. When do I use these two lenses? Now, when you go to my Facebook, Lawrence Photography or Logan Van Washington, you'll see most of the birds of the forest. Most of them I've used this lens here, Sigma, because I didn't want to scare those birds, so I had to change from 18 by 55 to 18 by 200 millimeter. And another thing that I normally do, because birds and other animals of a kind, they tend to move, they're not still, especially the golden bird. It can stay at one location or one place for 1 second. It keeps on moving, meaning every millisecond it will move. So I will use this lens and I will ensure that it was on autofocus, not manual focus, because of that situation that I've just explained. So coming to this lens here, I use this when I do the short distance, like for an example, if I use AV, that means I want to go closer to the subject. Look at my photos also on Logan Van Washington Facebook or Lawrence Photography Facebook. You'll see things like ants, houseflies, spiders, and more. I had to go close, and then I'll switch my camera on AV, okay, instead of manual. Like I did mention on my first video that my favorite now is manual, but before I used to love auto, but not anymore. I enjoy manual after I went through multiple videos from online like Photogenius and others, and then it will allow me to go closer, and then my settings will be, let's say, depending also on the weather. If the weather is not quite cool, let's say there's no sun, it's not sunny day, I will turn my camera on, the speed will be, let's say I'll start with 1 in 25 seconds. If I'm still not happy about that shot, then I'll drop down to 1:8. Sometimes it will give me a good shot, but if not, the shot is still dark, then I'll go down to 1:4, and then I'll remain on f16, right, because of the depth of field. So that is the settings I normally use if it's not sunny day. But if it's sunny day, I normally start with 1:100 a second, also remaining on f16. And then what about the ISO? My ISO, I normally keep it on auto, but only when needs be I will apply the ISO, especially at night. In some places I'll use that if the situation permits me, but in most cases I don't use ISO, I just leave it on auto. Okay, so now let's come to day shots or day shooting or day photography. Like I said,